Hi everyone. So in this video, I'm going to show you how we will be creating our API. So obviously the first thing is that you need to be logged in. So I've already logged in, as you can see here. Then once you go to this website called myapi.fyers.in/dashboard, you will have to click on create app. Then we'll have to fill in our details. Let's say we put in the app name as Python underscore API. We can put the redirect URL as https://www.google.com, and you can put anything in the description, let's say Python API again. Then you don't have to write anything in the webhooks or the postback URL. Just scroll a little bit down and choose each of these points. Like we have seen before, profile detail basically means that I will be able to get everything about my profile. Transaction info, it's read only, and I will be able to get information about the order that I've placed or the current positions that I have, things like that. Order placement, that means I will be actually able to place some orders using the API now. Quotes and market data helps me to get the live data, and historical data will help me to get historical data in either equity, futures and options, basically the open, high, low, close and volume data. Then you have to click I accept the API usage and click on create app. Once you create it, and if you scroll down, you will see that your app has been created called Python underscore API. Now, two very important things here is the app ID and the secret ID. But you'll realize something, that this app is currently not active. As you can see, one of my previous apps has active written here, but the new app does not have active written here. Do not worry, because when I show you how to authenticate it, for the first time when you do it, this will become activated. So with that in mind, now I'm going to show you the documentation on the FYERS app. So you can check this link, myapi.fyers.in/docsv3. This is a very important link because FYERS gives you complete details, in fact a lot of sample codes also, where they tell you how actually we can do different things, like let's say log into our broker, place a trade, get historical data, get live data, get data using WebSockets, how to find the positions. So they use a lot of different features, and everything has been mentioned here very easily for you. So let us start with the login flow. So I'm just clicking on the app creation on the left side, and I've already shown you the complete process of how we create the app. The second part, once you have done the API creation, is the actual login. So the way, as it says here, the way we will be doing it is we will be using the code, the sample codes here, and I will be using the sample code. So I've just clicked on the Python sample code on the right side, and in fact what I'm going to do is I'm mostly using this code only. There will be some minor changes, obviously. The code will be available for you, so you will be able to get the code, the exact code. So in fact I've just taken this entire code and I'm going to put it in the Python IDE, and the IDE that I'm going to use is called the IDEA IntelliJ. So next I'm going to show you the IDE, which is where we will be executing all our Python codes, and I will show you exactly the complete process of how do we do the login on FYERS. अब आपको यहाँ पे एक मिनट के लिए रुक जाना. So let us now see how we are going to actually log into FYERS API. So the code is called the authentication.py. This is the same code that I just showed you on the FYERS documentation. But before you use the code, the first thing that we have to do is ensure that all the libraries that are used by FYERS, they are installed on our system. So the way we do that is, I have already added those libraries at the top. So if you see here, there's a hash, that means this is a comment. You can just copy the entire thing right from the beginning. So it starts from pip install, go right till the end. You can just copy it and control C. Once you do that, at the bottom there will be something called terminal. Click on the terminal. Then once you click on the terminal, there will be a down arrow here. Click on the down arrow and choose command prompt, and then just paste, control V, paste it here and press enter. So the entire this command has been entered here. Please see that I have not copied the initial hash. I have not copied the initial hash. And once you do that, and once you press enter, it will probably take about 2 to 3 minutes, and it will install all the relevant libraries that we will be requiring going forward. Since I already have all the libraries installed, I am not pressing enter. But once you press enter, you will see it will keep saying, okay, this library is installed, this library is installed, so on and so forth. And then you can just click on this minus button here, and then we are good to go. So let me first show you the setup of how do we, what do we require from the page that we had just created the API from. So right at the top, we are importing one of the libraries. It's a web browser. Then I'm importing the FYERS API library. That's the most important library, because we will be using the functions which are provided by FYERS. Then we have to add our client ID. Now, what is this client ID? This is the same client ID that we have actually just created. So let's go back to our API. This was the API that we had created. This is the client ID, the app ID. I'm just copying it. You have to copy till the -100. So Control C, I've just copied it. Coming back to the code, and I'm doing Control V, and -100 is already there. So my client IDs has been added. Then you have to add the secret key again. Just go back to my FYERS API, copy this secret key from here, come back to the code and press Control V. Your secret key has been added here. Then this is the redirect URL. If you remember, this was the redirect URL that I had added when I was creating the app. In case you're not certain, you can check that out as well. Once I've done that, let's go back here. You don't have to do any changes here. So no need to do any changes in the code, in the sample state, and in the authorization code. So this is where we are just finalizing our variables. So currently what we have done, we have made 6 variables: the client ID, the secret key, the redirect URI, and these 3 variables. We have added the values to the variables. This is where we are creating our session model. So again, we don't have to do any changes here. This is the code provided by FYERS themselves. Essentially what is happening, all these variables that we have added here, they are being used in this line, in these lines, to create the session. So our variable called session has been generated, and using that session variable, we will be generating the authentication code. Now, how that is doing, that is not that important, because this is being done internally by FYERS code, so we don't really have to worry about it. And finally, I am printing out the token, the token that will get generated. So let me just do till here. So I'm going to run the code till here, and what you will see, this generate token will show at the bottom, and after that there will be something called input authentication code. So let's run it till here. So I'm just doing right click, then I'm clicking run authentication. Once I do that, you will see that the results have started to float down at the bottom, and this is what has come here. So you have to ignore the first line, that is just telling that I've run my authentication file. The py file is a Python file. This is the code, or this is the token authentication URL that has been generated. This is the generate token URL, this blue line, the second line. And then if you notice here, the code is currently waiting for us to enter the authentication code. But how do we get the authentication code? Let's check that out. So I'm going to copy the second line, a normal Control C. Come to Chrome, open a new tab, and press Control V and do enter. Now once you do enter for the first time, you will realize that it is asking us to accept that we want to use the API. So I'm going to click I accept the API usage. I will click continue as my account number, and once I do that, if I go back to the API that I've created, just remember it is inactive now, but if I refresh it, and if I come right at the bottom, you will notice that it has been activated. So that was the first step. This is to confirm that that our API has been activated. Let's go back to this link again. Now we will need to find the auth code. Now how do we find the auth code? Right at the top. Right at the top there is something called auth_code is equal to, and then it says EYJ something something, right? So we have to copy from this EY right till the end. So I'm going right on the right side, but on the right side you will see that right at the end there is something called and state equal to none. Please don't copy that. So no need to copy anything after ampersand. So this is the ampersand sign, the and sign. No need to copy anything after that. Just to Control C, come back to the code, and in the authentication code just click here at the bottom. At the bottom just click here, press Control V and enter. And you will realize that once you have done the enter part, it is giving me a token. It is giving me a token. This is the black the long sentence or long string that has been generated. Now you might feel that this value is same as this value, but that is not the case. So it looks very much similar to what we had copied from that URL, but they are not same. There is a slight difference. So always do this, and this is a one-time process. This is a one-time process. Basically what we have done is we have got, so let me go run through the code also. This is where the code was waiting for us to enter the authentication code. We were able to get the authentication code from the website. Then once I pressed enter, this authentication code, the green part which we copied from the URL, that was used, if you see here, that was used here to generate the response, and the response was the token that has been generated. And that token is being shown here. So this is the token that was generated for today, for me to log into my broker. And then what we have done is, after we have generated the token, we have gone ahead and pasted or saved that token in a file called FYERS_access_token.txt. How do you check that out? So on the left side, wherever you have your authentication file stored, there will be a file generated for you called the FYERS access token. As you can see here, if I double click that, this is the same token that we have just generated. It has been saved here. So we will be using this token in all the codes going forward. And it also stores the client ID. So if I go to the client FYERS client ID text, it is saving the client ID. So in all the remaining codes that we will be using only these two files, the client ID file and the access token file. So we can use all the functions provided by FYERS just by using these two files. So that's it. So it has saved it, and after that the code is completed. It has stopped running. As you can see right at the bottom, it is saying finished with exit code 0. That means there are no errors. So just let me quickly show you the process once again. I'm going to run the code, right click and run. Once I run it, I copy this blue line here, the blue URL, Control C, going to Chrome, open a new tab, Control V, paste, enter. Once you press enter, after auth code equal to, let's go to the right side, but not use the and state equal to none. Control C, copy, come back to your IDEA IntelliJ, Control V, paste, enter, and that's it. The token has been generated and we are good to go. So that's the entire process. Like I said, this is a one-time process per day. So you don't have to run this process in the middle of the day. You can do it anytime in the morning before you start trading, or before you, let's say, start analyzing or getting back testing data or historical data. It's a one-time process per day. And now we are good to go. We have today's access token, we have today's client ID, which we can use going forward. So again, thank you for joining, and I will see you in the next video.